on, everyone? This is Lucas Ross Sports, Lucas Ross, your commentator, and we continue our 2022 college football predictions. The California Golden Bears are up next. We'll give you an official prediction on this team. I'll give you my thoughts on this team and give you an official schedule preview, and I'll go from there. But before I do that, let's look back at 2021 for this California team. In 2021, California went 5-7. This team was overall pretty good, but they want to get bowl eligible. They missed out on a bowl game, just barely out last year. But overall, this team played pretty significant throughout the year. They were pretty good overall on the defensive side of the ball. Let's take a look at the offense and defensive rankings. 96 on offense last year. This team can really improve on that offense this year. I mean, there's a lot of, hope they can do that, but they're going to have a young offense. We'll get to the production percentage in just a minute. 32nd on defense, though. They were really a great defensive team last year. This team wound up being close to a top 30 defense, but there is a possibility that they can be a top 30 defense this year. They have quite a bit coming back on defense. They averaged 23.8 points a game last year on the offensive side of the ball. And that offense gets going, I mean, they could wind up winning more games. Opponents, though, 22.2 points given up on defense. So overall, pretty similar stats from last year on both sides of the ball with points per game and opponents per game. And the production percentage overall, not really a lot coming back on offense. They're going to have a young offense this year, a lot of question marks. Defensively, they have quite a lot coming back, but not everybody coming back. So there's a lot of question marks surrounding this California team. Let's see what they look like, though. And here is that schedule for the 2022 season for Cal. They kick off September 3rd against UC Davis. This is a game that they should take care of business in. And then there's that game against UNLV. I know this is another group of 5 team that Cal could take care of business in, but I really don't see it being, a game that they could take care of business in, but they have no business in losing these first 2 games of the year. If they do lose both of these games, it's going to be a tough stretch for them, and I think they will take care of business, though. I think they start out the season 2-0. So, I mean, there's, those are 2 games that I think Cal won't have problems in. They should score probably 37 points. It depends on if the offense can get going. Defensively, they should be really explosive on the defensive side of the ball. And there's that game on the road at Notre Dame, September the 17th. This is a tough game here on the road. Cal has the returning production percentage advantage, but it's on the road at Notre Dame. Notre Dame, has got a lot of question marks on offense this year. Defensively, they're going to bring quite a lot back. But, I still see this being a close game. I still see it being a close game. But overall, the production percentage does go to Cal. But Notre Dame, though, at the end of the day, I think is too talented. And also, they have more talent than Cal in this game. And also, I think Notre Dame will win this one. I think, not by, a blowout. I think it will be probably 3 touchdowns. I think Notre Dame does pull away in the second half. I think Cal, though, does compete in the first half. But, offensively, both of these teams have question marks. Defensively, I think both of these teams will be good. I think it will be a defensive battle the whole way, but we'll see what happens. Arizona on September 24th. I said in my Arizona video that this Arizona team is a team that you don't want to sleep on. But I had them, missing out on a bowl game this year. This team, though, has, a lot coming back this year, overall, offensively and defensively. I mean, this team could wind up being an underdog in the Pac-12 this year. We know the Pac-12 is doing a lot of things different this year with the standings and everything. So there is no North and South this year. Arizona, though, I think is going to win this game. I think, Cal will come up short. The production percentage just goes to Arizona in this game. I know it's a home game for Cal, but just think at the end of the day, though, the production percentage is there for Arizona, and I think they will defeat Cal on September 24. The offense is just going to be so young for Cal, and they have to really, get that offense growing. Next game is on the road at Washington State. This is a tough place to play as well. Could be a shootout game, could go back and forth, but Washington State has a lot of question marks on offense as well. They have a lot of question marks on both sides as well. Eventually, they're going to be kind of good, but, not quite a lot good. Both of these teams will be similar in defensive stats. I think the offense and, I think it will be probably a defensive battle. Let's say that right now. This will probably be a defensive battle. At the end of the day, though, I gave the returning production percentage to Cal. I think California will come into this game, with high hopes, and I think they'll finally get their first Pac-12 win, and I think they will defeat Washington State on the road. Next game on the road at Colorado. They get a bye week before playing this game. Colorado's got a lot of question marks as well on defense. They're going to be pretty young on that defensive side of the ball. Offensively, they bring almost everybody back from last year. Colorado wasn't really was an up-and-down team last year, but this team overall can be really still good. This game is on the road, so back-to-back road games for Cal here. It's a tough stretch as well. You know, you're coming off a Washington State game as well. And Colorado, I think, is too talented, and I think the returning production percentage goes to Colorado in this game, and I think Colorado will win this one. Not by a blowout, maybe by a 2-touchdown game, maybe a 3-touchdown game. Maybe a 3-touchdown game could be a blowout, but I think it will be probably a couple touchdowns probably. But this game could wind up being a defensive battle as well, maybe an offensive battle. And then there's that game at home against Washington. Washington's going to be an interesting team this year. Washington should be better than people might say than last year. They bring almost everybody back on offense. Defensively, they bring quite a lot back as well. This game is going to be really, interesting though. I think Cal will stay in this one maybe in the first quarter. End of the day, though, I think Washington's going to pull away, and I think it will be all Huskies in this game. I think it's going to be a game that California really won't compete in, but, maybe the first quarter they do compete, but Washington just has more talent than this Cal team, and they will defeat California in this game here. Oregon is up next here. Oregon here at home this year. Oregon loses quite a lot from last year. We know they have Bo Nix, though, coming in, so that's a big, pickup for them. Oregon, though, just really is going to be talented, though. We know they don't bring a whole lot back on offense. Defensively, they bring quite a lot back. But they're still Oregon. It's Oregon, right? I mean, it's Oregon. They're going to have a lot of talent. Bo Nix, coming in. Is he going to be the starting quarterback, though? That is the question. Who will be the starting quarterback this season for Oregon? End of the day, though, it's Oregon. I think they're still a top 15 team as well. I think Cal will not win this one. I don't really see them competing at all in this game. I know it's at home and all, but I don't really see that being a huge advantage for California in this game. On the road at USC on November the 5th, the November schedule really gets tougher for Cal in this game. USC, though, is a team that, has a lot of hopes this year. Lincoln Riley coming over. What is he going to be like for this team? And also, what is Caleb Williams going to be like? What is he going to look like this year? USC, though, is a team that, loses quite a lot from last year, but they're still going to be a really talented team. And this one being on the road, I don't really see Cal really competing. Maybe the first quarter they do give them a scare. End of the day, though, I think it's going to be a win there for USC. It's too tough there to play there for Cal, and I think it's going to be tough to get a win. And they go back on the road again against Oregon State. So they have another back-to-back road games here, and the schedule just really gets tougher here for Cal at the end of the season. Oregon State, though, is a team that returns a lot this year as well. Defensively, they have quite a lot coming back. Offensively, quite a lot coming back as well. Oregon State should be a really good contender in the Pac-12 this year. They should be really one of those teams that can maybe make the Pac-12 championship this year. This one being on the road, I don't really see Cal really competing as well. I think it's just going to be a downfall year for Cal at this point. I think their coach might be on the hot seat, but we never know. And I think Cal does not win this one. I don't really see them competing either in this game. It's just going to be a game that really doesn't come down to the wire as well. And I think Oregon State will win. Stanford at home on November the 19th. Stanford's going to be a team that you don't want to sleep on. This team could potentially go to the Pac-12 championship this year. Stanford, has a lot coming back on offense. Bring almost everybody back on that offense. Defensively, they're going to be really good as well. I don't really see Cal competing at all in this game. Stanford is a team that you don't want to sleep on. This team could wind up being back in the Pac-12 conference, and they could be that same team as they were back then a few years ago. I think Stanford will, win this game. I don't think it will be even close. I don't think it will be even a close game at all. Stanford just returns a lot this year. Don't really sleep on this team. And then there's that final game at home against UCLA. This game is on Friday. UCLA, going to be a young team this year as well. They bring quite a lot, though, back on offense. UCLA has the easiest schedule maybe in college football. This game right here against Cal is not going to be an easy one. It's going to be a back-and-forth contest. I think I can see this going either way. The returning production percentage does go, to UCLA in this game. I had to go back and forth on this game so many times, and I had to go with UCLA. I think they're going to pull out the win here by a shootout. It's going to be a close one, maybe in the 30-point category. It will be an interesting rival matchup here between these two teams as well. And the overall prediction for Cal comes out to be 3-9. I know it's not really a good record overall for Cal fans, but the schedule just really gets tougher and tougher when they get into November. USC, Oregon State, Stanford, those are not easy games. And then you got Notre Dame in the early part of the year. And then you got, Washington and Oregon on the schedule. So this schedule is really a tough one for Cal. I want to let you guys know what you think about this Cal team. Give me your thoughts on this team down in the comments below. And stay tuned here for more on Lucas Ross Sports.